Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our virtual tabling. So today, again, in the effort of talking about topics related to prediabetes and diabetes, because November is National Diabetes Month, we're going to talk about avoiding blood sugar spikes. So it's very important to make sure that your blood sugar is at a consistent level and that you're not causing, these huge jumps in your blood sugar, because they could lead into hyperglycemia or high blood sugar, which can be dangerous to our health. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, how exactly does food affect our blood sugar? So, just kind of a crash course in the digestive process. So, during the digestive process, the carbs from our food are broken down into glucose. Eventually, this glucose is then absorbed into the bloodstream, and then it travels all throughout our body. In response to this, the pancreas will release insulin, and insulin will sort of behave like a key where it opens up the cells and allows that glucose that's in our bloodstream to go into the cells, and then our cells can use that glucose for energy. And so another important thing to kind of note with blood sugar and how and how foods affect our blood sugar levels is that not all foods are created equally. Different foods can affect our blood sugar levels differently. So they can either spike them very high very quickly, or they can spike them very low over a longer period of time. And so the glycemic index is one way that we, kind of rank these foods based on how quickly they raise our blood sugar levels. So if you ever see like a chart, lower numbers on the glycemic index will raise blood glucose levels more slowly, like this line over here, this kind of lower yellowish line. And then high numbers will raise blood glucose levels rapidly. So this red line where it jumps way up and then eventually comes back down. And so how exactly can you combat these, high blood sugar spikes? One such way is to eat more fiber in your diet. So switching to whole grains, eating more legumes, which is, lentils and beans, as well as non-starchy vegetables such as broccoli, asparagus, and squash. And so a lot of these foods, they contain a lot of fiber. And what fiber does for us is that they allow us to, they delay the absorption of blood sugar in the bloodstream. And so, it kind of slows the absorption, and so your blood sugar isn't getting spiked as high. I will say you do want to watch out for whole grains and legumes because they do contain a lot of starches. So it's just, just something to be mindful of to, kind of eat those in moderation. And then similarly, one thing you can do is try to eat more tree nuts. And so similar to how fiber works, the fats that are in tree nuts help slow the absorption of sugar. And in addition, the fats that are present in tree nuts are good for our heart health and they're good for our brain health. And they're also a good source of fiber. They have, different tree nuts can have quite a bit of fiber in them. But again, you want to be sure to eat them in moderation because for every gram of fat, there's 9 calories, and tree nuts tend to have a lot of fat in them. So even though they're, a handful serving is, a very small amount, they can be very, very calorie dense. We just have to eat those, make sure we're eating those in moderation. Another thing you can try is to take like a short walk after eating. So there's studies that show that walking 10 minutes immediately after eating a meal resulted in lower blood sugar levels. And they compared this to people who were, they were still getting, their 30 minutes, 30 minutes a day for their exercise. So they were still meeting that goal. But even though they were still meeting that goal, the group that walked 10 minutes immediately after eating their meal actually resulted in lower blood sugar levels. So, and it's nice because it kind of breaks up that, our fitness goals. So it's a lot, for some people it might be a lot more appealing to walk, 10 minutes 3 times a day as opposed to, one long walk, sometime, in the day. And so in addition to kind of help controlling our blood sugar levels, taking like a short walk will also, might also improve our digestion. And certain studies have also found that, it may help with, helping to control our blood pressure as well. And then another tip you can do is to add cinnamon to your foods. So again, there's studies that show that cinnamon may help, lower our blood sugar and then in turn also increase our insulin sensitivity. In addition to, being a good, possibly being a good controller for, our blood sugar, cinnamon does contain a lot of antioxidants, which is good for our cell health. The only thing I would kind of advise a little bit is that, cinnamon does have high amounts of a chemical called coumarin. And, a lot of plants have this. Cinnamon, happens to have this chemical a little more than other plants. But studies have found that coumarin, may be harmful to our health. And so, sprinkling a little bit of cinnamon into your oatmeal or onto your yogurt or something like that, that's perfectly fine. You might just want to watch out for, the supplements because with supplements, they tend to pack a lot of cinnamon, into each capsule. And so it's really easy to kind of consume a lot of cinnamon and in turn possibly consume a lot of coumarin, which can be, harmful to our health. But again, adding it to your food, here and there, it's not, you're more than likely you're not going to be impacted much by it. And those are the tips that I have for you. So of course, let us know if you have any questions. You can comment below, or else you can email us at healthpromotion@glic.net. And so I thank you for joining me in this presentation, and I will see you again next time.